Next, I'd like to bring up Topher Edwards. You're going to love this guy's title. He is the Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Training Program Master Instructor at the National Electrical Contractors Association and International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Training Center. Electrical Training Center. Anyway, Topher is here, and along with IBEW, they have helped sponsor one of our premier sponsors for the event today. So in a lot of ways, what we're seeing today is impacted greatly by their contribution and their participation. So I'd like to introduce you to Topher Edwards.
Now, I work at an electrical training center, and so it's kind of interesting. I'm surrounded by people that love electricity. They use it for a living, they install it for a living. Everybody there is absolutely nuts about electric cars. They love it. But when I go home, it's a little different story, and most of you know that it's sometimes hard to be an EV supporter, isn't it? Nobody really quite gets what you get, do they? They don't understand. They think 100 miles, how could I ever be limited to 100 miles or 30 miles or 40 miles or oh my gosh, you know, and they just start freaking out right away. And I was thinking, well, wait a minute, what happened when gas-powered vehicles first, you know, when they started to get popular, and you had to walk down to the kerosene maker where you bought your kerosene lamp, you would have to dip your bucket in a giant tank of gasoline, which was their byproduct. They didn't even want it anymore. So you dipped your bucket in a giant tank of gasoline, brought it over to your car, and poured it in a funnel into your car. And I thought, wow, you know, I think of all of the support that's going on here. I look at all the products. Every major manufacturer out there is producing or in the process of producing of an electric vehicle. So different than when automobiles got their very first start. And so, of course, as electricians, we stepped up, and we don't want people to go back to those days of dipping that bucket and pouring into a funnel anymore. It's too important. This is way too important. What we have to do, we have to get it right. We absolutely have to get this right. Many of you know that. We also need to get along while we're doing it. That's super important. Now we have companies like Tesla out there that plowed through and led the way for us. But now we've got a Nissan Leaf, and we've got a Chevy Volt here. Next year we'll have a Ford, we'll have a Mitsubishi, we'll have all of these cars coming up, and they've all decided to get along. We're all going to use this J1772 standard so that you could plug in anywhere you want. Okay. We've got one thing left. We got to get it done. We absolutely have to get this done, and those of you with EVs already know this. You want it done now, and that's what we're here for. Because what we need is we need electricians out there that know how to install the equipment that's going to support this electric vehicle, and they have to get it right. They have to get along with the customer, and they have to get it done. So we're going to start training electricians. We already have. We've got representatives of classes that have already gone through, and we're going to help understand not just, you know, how to put something on the wall and plug it in. We're electricians. We've been doing that for 100 years. We're good at that. But we also want our electricians to know, okay, about the vehicle. We want our electricians to know about you, the customer. How are you going to park that in your garage? It's such a simple question. We've already had problems with charging stations being installed where, you know, one owner came in and installed the charging station. They said, put it over here. The other owner came home and said, what are you doing? Why did you have him put it there? We need it on the other side. Such a simple question. But we need to be able to ask those questions. So our electricians, they're going to go through, they start out with a high level of qualifications, but they're going to go through a high level of training, a substantial training course, not just on the equipment and the vehicles and the permit requirements and the installation requirements, but also about how to treat you as a customer, how to give you good customer service. That has to happen. Because if those of you that are still standing there and listening to me, if you don't have an electric vehicle yet, you probably will soon. But it's the people that when you talk to, and they go, oh, I don't think I could live with just 100 miles. Or there's no way, even, how does that thing, I don't know how it works. I don't want to buy anything that I don't know how it works. When you come home and explain to those people, you need to be able to have the confidence to say, hey, you know what? It's being taken care of. They're trained people out there. We know who to call. And they know how to get it right and get it done and do it the way you want it done. Incredibly important. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the day. Thanks for having me up here. And thanks for showing me all the amazing vehicles. It's been great.